Here we go.
Do, do, do.
Welcome to Rip City Reverberations. What is this episode? Retake of episode 3 because our first episode 3 had severe audio problems, and hopefully that crap is solved. Anyways, I'm Michael. This is John. We've been watching basketball forever. We talk about the Blazers and the NBA and music and guitars and basses and rock and roll and all kinds of good stuff. So, anyways, on today's show, we are going to
Yes.
talk about, let's see, I'll talk about Blazers Fan Fest.
You got to go to that? Yes.
Yes, I went to the Fan Fest yesterday and it was fun. Got to see the new scoreboards, which are enormous. The two end zones are two entire huge scoreboards now. There's no more hustle board, although I assume that they're going to make a virtual version to show on the screen. There's a giant score in the middle of the scoreboard. Um, and for those of you watching this on YouTube, one of these slideshows is going to have pictures of that at some point. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Um, it it was interesting. There's a different tone. Um, it, it's so much more hopeful than the last couple of years have been, which have
Yeah.
been so ugly. And I don't know. It was a good vibe. And you felt Dame's presence. Like some of the pictures that are going through these slideshows is Dame sitting on the sideline talking to whoever walked by him and like engaging them in conversations and like pointing like this guy should be there and this guy over when he's doing that, this one, and he's all these hand gestures and everything, but he's like fully involved in FanFest.
So that's
So
what we want.
yeah, no, the commitment during the season for him being invested in these players and making a good
Highest paid
team.
assistant coach.
Yeah, yeah, no, and it's going to be worth it. And Drew is the same thing, but on the floor. And in fact, Drew got to kind of show off a little bit. The end of the game was actually competitive, and he got the last play and basically made a score happen on a broken play, and they were trying to stop him, like legit trying
Yes.
to stop him, and he made it happen. So it's even though in that kind of low competition environment, you saw some competition, and then
Yeah.
another thing that kind of amazed me is Klingon and Hansen
Yeah.
already might have a minor little bit of beef that might not be the worst thing in the world. Like one time, they were actually like legit kind of going at each other for rebounds and stuff. And at one point, Hansen ended up on the floor, and he was kind of laughing at, and Donovan just looked irritated.
Well, if you start, you need the competition. You need that fire. I mean, it's you got to. This is a earn it league. You don't
I
just get
well,
gifted and
I agree. And then on top
starter.
of that, from what I saw in summer league, Hansen is an instigator. He likes getting under people's skin. So if he's doing that to Klingon already, then good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the competition there is a good thing, and I think that they will only make each other better as long as as long as it doesn't get personal and turn into something stupid.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think Hansen can be. Uh, what do you want to say? Like a bad guy in that aspect. He'd be laughing or smiling the whole time. I think it's just his nature is too kind in that aspect. I don't know if he
Oh,
has that.
he has a mean streak. He
Oh,
he
I haven't seen enough.
he he enjoys getting under people's skins when like in summer league he was pissing off other players um and laughing at them when they got pissed off, like it was obvious in his body language, and so
A little D Rodman in there. I'm just going poke, 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 poke. Oh,
Yes,
poke, poke, poke.
yes,
Stare at you. Oh, well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Hey, if he can do anything close to what Rodman can do rebounding, that will be a bonus,
yeah,
especially at his size.
yeah. No,
He needs to have that.
and he was shot well. His outside shot looked good. His free throws looked good, and it was and on top of that, all of that, there was a lot of people that showed up for FanFest. There, I mean, I don't know what the attendance was, but it was several
Almost it,
thousand people for sure. It was there were people in every level, and I mean, it wasn't full, but you can see some from the pictures. Like I'm looking right now, the 100 level section is probably 2/3 full,
this
and
says there were 7,000 fans.
yeah, yeah. So
Announced attendance.
a little
Wow.
under, what is that? A little under half.
Yeah. So we're yeah, yeah. Well, what's it seat now?
Isn't it 18 or 19,000, something like that?
I thought it was 19. Yeah, 19 something. I think. Um, 20. It says 20,005. So yeah, under a little under half. Theater of the Clouds will seat 20,000. So yeah, you're 19 something for a game. You're
Yeah.
knocking out 1,000 seats on the floor. At least a couple. Yeah, 500, 600. Um, no, I mean, yeah, if it's that's great. I'm with you in the whole mental thought process of you got some hope, you got some excitement. I'm more excited seeing who we brought in. You know, Dame is going to be an influence regardless if he's playing or not. Him just being there and be able to talk to players. Drew, like you say, if he's already doing, hey, he's already going to be a leader. He can't not be that. That's just the way he plays and holds himself. So that gives some nice vet presence. And then they're going to, both those guys, I'm sure, are smart enough to be like, hey, who do we got that's going? You know, if Denny's running the show and just being it, here, you can be the stud, dude. We're going to sit back because our roles are going to be in a position to just support that. You know, Dame was never even. I'll go back to like Dame. What Dame said he's looked at um, for why he wanted to come back even was, you know, who would be around him. He knows he's not the. I'm not going to have to do all the lifting. It's like I now have people that can shoot. That it puts him in the position when he's another year out. But when he comes back to be able to, oh, I'm going to draw that defense. Boop. You know, he's good enough to pass. Shit, he averaged what? Even I think in Milwaukee the last year was like 8, almost 9 assists a game. You know, now you got more people around him that can shoot, and not just Giannis. I don't think Milwaukee was balanced very well, but
Well,
um,
I think it's also great that since his first year with the team, he's going to be hurt. The team has to figure out an identity without him. And I think it will
yeah,
be easier for him to step into whatever they figure out than vice versa. Or he came
yeah,
in and he was a star and wants everything around him, and then they figure out something around him. I think he can,
yeah.
like you said,
Now you do the I don't know who's the this is like the Jamal Crawford coming off the bench and go green light, just go. He always had a green light walking in, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna drop 30 tonight. And it's not that we would need that, but I mean, Dame he may not be coming off the bench. He may be. Maybe he's like, bring me in the second squad. Who's gonna stop me? I'm gonna shoot from wherever. I'm gonna like cross half court.
we'll see. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be a discussion for a year from now. But
Yeah,
I have a hard time. On one hand, I do think that he could, like, if especially if Scoot and Shea are killing it, he could be, quote unquote, the bigger man and volunteer to come off the bench to not step on anybody. But I also see how he's talking about he's going to be the exact same player when
yeah.
he gets back and all this kind of stuff, and that exact same player's ego is not going to want to come off the bench.
No, but and also I think his game would warrant it too. It's like I'm
Right.
no, I'm too good to not be in the game,
Yeah, I mean,
and
what like you said, what was his stats his last year in Milwaukee? It was like 25-8 or something
he
like that.
was. They were. I don't think they were 25. I think they were like low 20s. But yeah, I saw like an eight assists or nine, almost nine assists or something. I was like, okay, he's you know trying to pass the ball. Um, and I think his ability to shoot is still going to be there. You see him shooting freaking 3 pointers now, like he's and he's. I know he's not fully jumping. I know he's not using all his strength, but it's like, dude, you're hitting threes just like you hadn't, just had a fucking Achilles rupture. Um, you're out there doing that now, and he's got another. He's not coming back till next year. He's stated that. You
Yeah.
know, I think he's, as everybody has said that has injuries like that, and even that go through it, they're like it's mentally. You can be mentally super strong, which Dame I'm sure is elite in that. It's still that trusting your body to make those moves
Oh, I
and to
know.
be able to push up. Yeah, true. Very true, Michael. You should. I didn't have that injury in the same aspect. It was just like, okay, good. I can push on it. Now it wasn't like yours. Mine was ankle and bone. So it wasn't great. That once it healed, it's like, go. I didn't have anything other than just rebuild,
No, that
physical movement.
mental thing and the trust that you're not going to break something again, that is the hardest thing. All the
Yeah.
physical stuff is just reps and being patient and doing what the physical therapists tell you to do. But that mental,
Yeah.
once you've gotten the green light to go and resume activities, and it's like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like Dame said, I think he said the next day, he described what went through his head when it happened, and he said he was like, damn it, now I got to come back from a freaking Achilles. His mental attitude was like, I got to make this, now I got to come back from this. He's already going, I'm already coming back. Um, hearing him say that, it's just like, all right, you're mentally already there. Obviously when you saw him do it, the look on his face was like, you gotta be kidding me. What the hell is going on? And then he like that, but that goes with his mental, that thought process of like, oh man, I gotta come back from this, and poof. But so yeah. Um, what did we have? That was touching on FanFest? Did you see anything else unique? I mean, did just like caught your eye? The hey, I'm just seeing how somebody played. Anybody else catch your eye of, hey, that guy's he's got some moves, he's got some, you know,
I mean,
possibly get in the rotation.
Shade won MVP, but I mean, MVP of FanFest. It's like
Woo.
for scoring
Yeah.
10 points in two 8-minute quarters. Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Any other rotation players make you kind of go, oh, he could chime in, or he's gonna, if he gets 10 minutes a game. I mean, did you see that? I mean, just because we got some new players, which I'm more or less. There's another guy that we just signed, and I don't even know who it is. He's not even on that list. Um, how did like I don't know Wesley? I haven't seen him. And then who's the other guy? Love. Those two guys seem to be
Caleb Love was in summer league, so he actually played
okay.
with Onsen, and he was a 4-year college player, Pac-12 Player of the Year or something like that, and
Jeez,
so he wasn't bad, but also wasn't good enough to get drafted. So he's on that journey.
he's
Um,
24 years old. He's a two guard for Portland, 6'4", 205. Okay, sure.
yeah, I
Two-way
don't know.
contract with a remix.
Yeah, I don't. Other than Hansen looking competent, um, I don't know what you can really gain from watching the Fan Fest.
Okay,
I mean, they did get competitive in the last minute because it was close, and they did try to. I forget who was guarding Drew, but they're trying to shut him down, and he just worked his way to the basket and scored. And was the
that's
clock
nice.
ran out,
I heard
and
that
they
he hit like a lefty floater or something. I heard.
yeah. So, anyways, that's probably enough about FanFest. Let's talk about who the starting five should be. And maybe it's a good thing that our last recording died and all of our talk about Scoot starting was
Yeah.
irrelevant anyway. So, how about you go first? Let's talk about John. You are the coach of the Blazers this year, and who is your starting five?
I'm gonna go with I've clearly now you got since Scoot is not there. Holiday Drew's gonna end up being the one. He's gonna be the main point guard. Um, I kind of originally thought this. I said this earlier. Of just I'm putting five guys on the floor. Three of the mid three guys can all kind of play any of it. Defensively, they'll pick up and match up who they should be with, and then offensively, they'll have their strengths. But shooting guard, I have now. I would actually put Denny as a two because he's another player that can handle the ball. If we're going to run, you're going to have Tumani would be a three. You slash four, where he's going to really play a three. He's not a power forward. He can guard anything. You can I mean that front line becomes, throw anything in the passing lane, and we hopefully can just turn around and run. At the forward, at that point I'd put Grant back in the starting lineup. I think they need it for him if we are going to either move him or he needs to get on track to be that scorer that he was not last year, previous year, really.
When he was
Um,
in Detroit, he scored 22 a game, and I think he did his first year with us. But yeah,
yeah,
no,
have him be that
he's
type of
one of
player.
the better scorers that we have that's healthy right now.
Yeah, and if he's healthy, okay, you got an offensive threat. I think Tumani's game is going to pick up. We're going to see that. I'm going to bet he's more of a threat now just because he has confidence, and he's going to be a dog on defense. Denny's turbo fast break machine. You now have Holiday who's can run a show out there if we have to get in a half court, even if it's. We said this in the last time we talked. Also, like if you have this goes back to the Porter days with Clyde and Buck and Kersey. If you got Holiday run in the middle, you either have Denny on a wing, Tumani and Grant. It's like okay, just pick your poison. Or you get Denny running the show. You're gonna have Tumani and Grant hopefully getting out, or Holiday'd be trailing in this that situation kind of. And he just does what's kind of his thing. I'm gonna trail, boom, hop in, hit a three. If you don't stop him,
You remember that classic Blazers poster? Who is it? It
yep,
was Porter, Kersey, and was it Buck?
Buck, yeah, uh-oh.
Is that what it
Is
said
that
underneath
uh-oh?
it?
It says
Yeah, there
uh-oh.
you go. Same kind of
Yep.
idea as what you were just talking about.
Uh, I wonder if there's no way to kick that. Yeah, it says uh-oh. Oh, somebody remade it with Nurkic. That's not true. Dame, CJ, and Nurkic. That was the remake one. That's not good.
That
Yeah,
was
but
a pretty badass mix in 2019 before Nurkic broke his leg.
that is true. But yeah, if
All
we
right.
had the sorry.
No worries. So,
Oh,
you got your starting five. How deep into the bench? How are you going to go? Are you going to go 9? You're going to go 10? You're going to go 15? How deep are you going to go?
uh, I like having a playing deeper than we can. I think coming off the bench, you're probably going to have, and I don't know these guys well enough yet, but Wesley or Love Wesley are going to be kind of taking up the um, point guard minutes. You really could put, even if we had to, move Denny into some of that backup point guard if we bring in Sharp.
For Blake and
Um,
Wesley, is your approach going to be splitting their time evenly game to game, or are you going to like play one guy the minutes one game and then give the other guy a try in another game? How would you split that up?
I think they'll find that out eventually. Who's going to just rise? If they're both equal, then you can give them. Some of it's going to be matchups. I don't know the difference in the size of the players. I don't know how
But I'm asking more
what their
about
strengths.
your coaching philosophy. Do you think that it
I
gives the player a better chance to like give each of them 10 minutes every game, or do you think it's better to give them more run and rotate back and forth? Is what I'm trying to get at.
I would go more of the try to split the time between them. And it's going to be matchups. I always look at how, if I was coaching it, it's going to be matchups and who they're going against. Um, if you have, try to give them some equal time, during the game, because like this, that's less wear and tear in the long run. Plus, they build more consistency over game to game instead of sitting a game, playing a game, sitting a game. Okay, that next game may not be the one. They should play, and oh, that's a bad matchup. They're going to get smoked all night. So you give them a little bit of here and there. That cool. You keep a consistency, and you keep their here. You keep them in their rhythm and their flow, which all players always talk about. Hey, I'm used to doing this. I'm used to doing this. Okay, we can push your minutes longer. And I think Chauncey kind of, he does that a little bit where he just rides players too if they're hot. Let them go. He's not one of those guys. Oh, you're at 12 minutes. Whoop, come out. You can't. Oh, you just hit 4 buckets. So heat check and see what happens. I'd probably mix them half and half at the point. You could run Sharp in there to give him some more minutes if you need to. Sharp would be my off the bench, probably as another shooting guard, because that's where he's going to be. He needs to have a good year. He needs to take that next step and just be like, stop me. His defense needs to pick up a little bit, but I think that's going to pick up because everybody's is going to pick up with who we have now. And they've talked about, as a team, they want to be, what is it? Make teams uncomfortable. I saw that little blip that Chauncey was talking about. It's like and which is great. I'm all for that. I always look at it: get in the passing lanes, cause the problems where they can't get that offense, and it's either going to be one on one, and we're going to take away everything else you got, and you're going to make you stop us. If you do that, more power to you. But um, sorry, someone sent something. Um, Small forwards, with that moving around and Scoot not being there, I think Matisse or Murray, those guys probably split that time, and you could go game to game there. Those guys are just ready to go whenever, no matter what. Matisse adds another, holy crap, unique defensive capability. Murray is long as well. It's like, great. Who we want to put a hands team out there and clog up every passing lane we can. Um, I think for Sharp, if he's coming off the bench to give him more run, would also be coming in. I just have him as another forward. Him and Repair could split minutes down lower, as a power forward or whatnot, given it to be adjusting where players are at, and we may not have positions for each of them. But that gives Sharp, he needs to be running 30 some minutes a game, I think 30, 32, maybe 34. That's still, you're sitting a quarter at that point. Um, yeah, and if he's on, let him run. Um, and then at center, I think I kind of go with your thought process. Williams, if Williams is healthy, he's going to play, like we kind of talked, every other game probably. He's not going to play back to backs. Give
Yeah,
him
he
spot
never
minutes.
he never played more than, was it like 15 or 18 minutes a game, even when he
Yeah,
didn't play. So
even if he can, he probably would be, hopefully, I think, look, let's let you have the time so you get, again, your consistency of playing, and your just get your rhythm. You're a player that can come in and you're going to do what you do. He can hit shots, score, rebound, cause problems defensively. All you need to do. Give that other times to it when you have to sit him, or hopefully he does not get injured. But then Hanson's going to be splitting those other minutes with Klingon until Klingon proves he's got gas and he's got a tank that he can go longer. Um, and I
actually, you
think
know
also,
what? To go back to you asking me about observations from FanFest,
mm,
Donovan Klingon is in noticeably better shape. Like he actually has some definition in his arms, and like
nice.
you can tell he has worked really, really hard. But anyways, sorry to
Oh,
interrupt.
that good. He's going to need that, because I mean the everybody's going to come at him this year. He played pretty solid, and I don't know what his stats were comparable to people in his position, but I know there are a few of those. It's like you had really, really good numbers, rebounding, scoring, efficiency compared to the the big names in the league. He's on some of those lists, and it's like, okay, that's pretty good as a rookie, not rookie of the year stuff, but you're clearly weren't in great shape, and you still made noise across the league with all of the stuff you do.
I think
Uh,
the way you had to look at his number, you had to look at it like per 36, so they averaged out kind of
that I think so.
if they were playing 36 minutes, then he was definitely in the upper echelon of shot blockers and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
defensive presences. So yeah,
I think yeah, because but if we do look at just even when he was out there, obviously that translates to the full game. But you look at it when he's out there, and you're like, okay, you're a rim protector and causing people to change what they have to do, offensively when they get in the lane. Um, and then Hansen, you got to put him on the floor just to see what he can do. He's gonna make mistakes because I don't think, and you may have saw this, his speed is still not going to be NBA speed. That game's gonna be moving quick, and he's gonna go against somebody that's just gonna destroy him because they're gonna know I'm gonna fake you here, spin off you, and boom, you just don't have the footwork or the balance or the understanding of how to use your body yet.
footwork is a strength of his. I don't think he's going to have a problem with footwork.
I guess I'm thinking of like if you're getting bumped and bodied, there's a difference from the vets where they're gonna put him in a position where you don't have the strength to stop this footwork is more what I meant because yeah his ability to move and stuff I'm like is pretty solid.
Yeah, he will definitely have some groin pains, but footwork is part of a decent foundation with him.
Nice.
All right,
All right, what
so
is your setup?
Coach John, just want to make an observation. You will be going 13 players deep, almost playing the whole
Oh,
team.
well, that's good. Yeah, I want.
You're gonna set a trend in the league.
Well, that they're still gonna run some other guys fairly hard, but we need to have that like we have discussed, not even you. You said it on one of the last ones. We want a team that is rested, and if everybody's used to playing, somebody goes down, somebody foul trouble, plug in the next guy. Cool, he's done this. He's just playing an extra 5-6 minutes this game that he didn't before, but he's used to it. He's used to playing, and you have a team that's like, good. If we're 10, 12, if we're 12 deep that can run, please, I'll great. Okay, somebody's tired. If we're going to run and really run, we have a lot of flexibility with all those guys. Yeah, Hansen's not going to be a sprinter. Murray isn't a sprinter. He can run the floor,
No,
but
I
he's
think
not.
Hanson's going to be limited in minutes like Klingon was last year. He's just going to be
Yeah,
limited by his wind and
yeah,
playing against bigger, faster players.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. And that's the part. I know it from playing against you all the years. Is like I don't want to defend you, dude. I'm gonna get moved, and it takes everything I have to just hold ground. And yeah, he's
well,
gonna
yeah.
go against.
Once you have enough size, you can wear people out just by leaning on them all the time.
Yeah, yeah, and
I'm just
that's
going to lean on you, and you're going to have to carry some weight.
freaking. Oh,
So
push off! Get out of my face. Yeah, yeah. If we're that deep, that's if everybody can play less minutes and be as productive as they can be. Yes, that's perfect scenario. But we're 12 deep. I want that guy to come off the bench and Chauncey could just go. Here, you two guys, get in there, run, keep going. And that gives us. We finally have the flexibility of everybody's long. They're all getting to be that 6'8", with a 7-foot wingspan, and whether it's Matisse, Murray, Sharp, Grant, Tamani, Denny, you got Drew. Isn't Drew? You can see the pictures of Drew. He's taller and bigger than Dame. You don't. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't realize he's a couple inches of bigger.
he's 6'4", 6'5", and Dame's like
Yeah,
6'2", 6'3" in
yeah,
shoes.
yeah. And it's like, okay, we have a long team, and that in this day and age, you're covering a lot of ground, and you got to contest a three, make them put it on the floor, and then great, we got a big in the middle that wants to play defense, and let's just rotate. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's where I would go. Yeah, I'm good. 13, nice observation.
All right. Well, for mine, I'm not going to go as deep as you because I see what you're saying in spreading out the minutes and everything, but I have a feeling that players would rather get more run and switch off than um, than to have it split like that. Um, and it's to me, it's still spreading out the minutes. I mean, let's see. My starting five is the same as yours, although I have people at different positions. I have Drew at point guard, Tamani at shooting guard, Jeremy Grant at small forward, and Denny at four. Although those two are probably interchangeable, and Jeremy Grant is probably better at guarding fours than threes at this point. And then
Sorry.
Klingon at five and trying to get him 28 minutes. I have Drew at 28 minutes. I have Tamani at 20 minutes from the shooting guard position, but I also have him playing some bench minutes.
Yeah, so
Um,
he's
and Jeremy Grant, I have him at 28 minutes. I have Denny at 30 minutes. And Klingon at 28 minutes. So that kind of is solving the issue of not overplaying people. I part of my goals, and I think yours is the same, is that I want to eliminate player rest games. I want to, that should not be a thing. And I want to get to April and May healthy and rested and more energy than anybody else. And we're going to grind people to dust by
yeah.
playing
We stay with
ferocious
that.
defense. So my bench, backup point guard since Scoot is out. I have Love and Wesley, and I have it 50-50 ish. And I don't know, like I was just saying, I think I would lean towards giving one guy, like, look at the matchups and are there clear advantages for either of them, and then try and play them like that, and then move it back and forth so that when you're in, you're going to get a good run. And it's because, like, playing somebody 10 minutes, I think that's harder than you think, because, like, where are those 10 minutes coming from? What are you going to play them for, like, two and a
Yeah.
half minutes a quarter each quarter? And then who's going to be happy with 2.5 minute run? Or are you going to play them longer and then not play them in every quarter? Or it starts to get
Yeah.
difficult that way, of, like, you put somebody in the game and then you're immediately taking them out, or you're putting them in the game for a 5 minute run and then they don't play again until the next half for another 5 minute run. And
Yeah.
does that become its own irritant to them? um
Yeah, I think that goes with what you said though of hey, it's matchups. Let them see it, and that's the coaching, and it's like, well, okay, cool. Do we, and that's saying that Drew's going to obviously need a break, but it's that you don't run Shaden more and you don't run Matisse out there more, and hey, well, just Denny, you're now at a point, you're going to run, extra 4 minutes this game and take those minutes off the bench, and then that guy only gets 2 minutes. There's always. Hopefully, we're at the point of we're up 20 halfway through the fourth quarter and everybody rests. Then they can get
well,
they get their 10 minutes.
absolutely, that would be a fantastic. And then you're playing 15 people, and the
Yeah,
end of the bench gets, like, significant minutes. That'd be fantastic.
yeah. This is the
I
Warriors
mean,
of a few years ago.
that's the ideal goal. Yeah. All right. So then I have Shaden Sharp playing 28 minutes off the bench at two guard. And I know this is true for you too, but it kind of goes without saying that anybody coming off the bench, if they earn the spot, they can become a starter. If
Yeah,
Sharp is
Chauncey
playing
always.
better than Jeremy Grant, then Sharp should start and
Yeah,
Grant should come off the bench. But because of his veteran status, his age, his contract size, and the whole idea of rehabbing his value so that you could trade him.
yeah. I think though, but I think that's also Chauncey would look at that if Grant then earned it back, he can put him back in there,
Yeah.
or at that point, I would say if Sharp's balling his ass off, he's gonna, yeah, okay, we got to start him. We can't not start him. Or is it a point of like, if Grant's playing great and say Sharp is just playing out of his mind all the time, okay, who do we put on the bench? Great, start Grant. it doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes.
Yeah.
There's always that. It's like, great, okay, Sharp, come off the bench.
That
You're
is
going
one of
against
the
their second
things that
string.
has come out of training camp week is that Shaden Sharp is balling his ass off. Like even
That's good.
Drew Holiday made a comment about
I think I heard. I think I heard
Sharp
that.
balling his ass off, and he wouldn't be saying that if it weren't true. So
Yeah, and that's what we want. I mean, obviously, clearly, we want if Shaden has that, as we know, athletic ability, and if he can hit his shot, you saw little glimpses of it last year. Like, okay, his shot is smooth. If he gets to that shot, that's usually going down. He needs. I think we both commented last year a lot of when he attacks, he needs to be just, dude, be more explosive. Use your he tries to be smooth and cuts to the hoop and finish at the rim instead of, dude, you can go over the rim. You can go over people. You don't have the build to do that necessarily, but you need to do that once in a while to just keep people honest and go, oh yeah, he can jump. He does it when he's got the white. Oh, like his dunk of the year last year, kind of that coming down. It's
the
like
one
someone tried
against
to
the
hit him.
Wizards,
Yeah, the
uh,
one he caught stole the outlet pass and came down the lane and get bumped and just throws
yeah,
down sideways. It's like, dude, yeah, you need to do that. You do that in a game. Hey, that's I don't want to say a sportsmanship, but there's an attitude of like, look at Anthony Edwards. He dunks on someone. It's like, oh, okay. Anybody sees him coming, it's like, nope, I'm not going to be in this poster. And he dunks.
right.
He dunks with more, I think, more power. He has more aggressiveness to him. And if Sharp does that, you can do that, and you send that message. I'll go back to the superstars and super flyers. Vince Carter, in game or anywhere. Yes, he usually was wide open, but it's like, yeah, nobody's gonna jump. You're going to get a dunk if you jump, because it's like the only way they're going to get you. They're not going to go up as high as you, or they're going to foul you. But you send a message, and there's that like, I got runway. You're in my way. I'm going over you, and most people, their ego will step in and go, okay, I'm not going to do it because I'm just going to foul him because I can't stop him.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, he could do that coming off the bench. It's like, woo, okay, that's a problem. Because if Grant's playing well too, it's like, okay, who pick your poison again? You know, and this is where I am. Looking at the roster is exciting in aspects of like we don't have huge like scorers, but the potential for, hey, if we're gonna run, layups are layups, dunks are dunks. That's easy buckets. And if we get a couple people that can shoot, if Grant gets his shot back, I think Tamani is going to be able to get his. Drew can shoot. It's not that Jeremy, yeah, geez, put Jeremy back at the outside the arc. It's like, yeah, you got people, and that's great. Take what they give you. You got shots falling, fall. If not, attack the hoop. How are they going to stop three guys coming down the lane? From just collecting.
Well, I think part of Grant's resurgence and also Shaden Sharp taking the next step is them opening up the offense to making mid-range jumpers acceptable again, which last year they were
Yeah.
not.
Layup three, layup
Yeah.
or a three.
Right. No, and I don't think I think that's part of why Grant's numbers dipped, because a strong part of his game is the mid-range game, and it opens up the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, that's a huge. I mean, all the stuff I do on Sundays with all the skill work, and Benny and I talk all the time. It's like, if you got to pull up jump shot from anywhere inside the arc, you cause a problem for almost anybody defending you, and the rest of the other teams, because then they go, everyone thinks, oh, I got to stop a layup, or don't let him get a wide open three. Okay, run at him, dribble, 12-footer. It's a free throw. You got a free throw.
Yeah.
And at the level these guys are at, that's pretty automatic. It should be automatic. You know.
Yep.
Um,
All
does
right.
that
So
cover who you wanted?
no, the
Yeah.
rest of my
No.
bench. So I've
Yes.
left off with Shaden Sharp. Backup small forward is Matisse Thybulle. He's healthy again, and he's such
Yes.
a odd and special defender that you got to give. I'm giving him 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And he's just problematic, and hopefully he can develop like regain his confidence in his shot, because he's not a great shooter, but he's not a terrible one either, unless he's lost his confidence, which he did in Philadelphia, and seems like he kind of did again last year,
Well,
but
yeah,
he also had health issues. So
I
how much
think
of it
the
was
thing
that?
I agree with you. I would say his shot wasn't great here, but he would hit it when he was there, but he was always in the right spot to be able to shoot it. It seemed. It's like, hey, throw me the ball. It's like there's nobody around him, and he's wide open for that shot. How does that happen? That's another piece of the game where I think he's got a smart. Basketball IQ is fairly high, and he can. Good. Oh, I'm gonna just be here for that little outlet. Beep, let it fly. So, all
I agree.
right, Matisse, what do you got next?
For power backup power forward, I'm giving Kamara the bulk of the rest of the minutes there. Since he's already got 20 minutes in the starting lineup, I'm giving him at least 10, if not more. He's somebody that's young enough that I think that you could give him some more minutes and it'd be fine. Um, and then
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I got to get Duop Reith on the floor, just for his stretch shooting for a big. Nobody else really does that unless Young really pops. So I think
yeah.
that just as a need for a big to draw people out to the 3-point line, giving him a few minutes is probably going to be necessary. Um,
He played great when he was, in his spot minutes before. He did exactly that. He doesn't make huge mistakes. He does I remember him being a decent rebounder, even for his size.
yeah. Now I think he gets exposed on defense, but generally
Yeah,
he's a solid backup, and he gives something that we don't have in our other bigs,
yeah, very
or
true.
we don't have yet. And speaking
Yeah,
of bigs, the backup bigs, Rob Williams is not healthy, but when he's healthy, count on him getting, let's call it 15 minutes against the matchups that make sense and not in back to backs. And but other
yeah.
than that, I'm giving Young Hansen all of the rest of the backup minutes, so 20-ish minutes a night, to start off with, and
So you're what, 10 deep, give or take 11?
10, maybe 11.
If you had Tumani's starting too, so that's really 10.
Yeah,
10, not 10 and 11. Yeah, 10. That's still, but 10 deep, and that's usually we get like 8.
yeah.
It
Well,
seems.
I mean, so I think that you're going to see more teams going deeper because of the finals last year. Both teams went 10 deep. They both went deep. They both ran. They both played defense hard. So, if that's the new theme in the league, I'm all for that. And I think 10 deep is the floor. You're not going to
Yeah,
dip below that, but you may go above it because of foul trouble and injuries, which are the variables that are going to mess up all of the plans that we just laid out.
yeah. Um, cool.
So, anyways,
Um,
that wraps up my rotation. Let's talk about what we think Chauncey is going to do. What's your take on what do you think Chauncey's going to do?
um, this is kind of a mix of both of those. He would, I think Drew. I mean, just as starters, Drew, Denny, Tumani, Grant, Klingon. I think we have the same starting five now. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We're
So
just in different positions, and I
yeah,
think I am for what it's worth to me. I think Chauncey's going to have the same starting five.
yeah, I agree with that. What positions they start, I don't
It
really
kind of doesn't.
care.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, that's just splitting hairs.
Klingon and Drew are their positions, and then if they open up the offense like they've talked about and let things go, it's like you kind of play that positionless, not positionless. You play that. Hey, it's take what's given. You can put any of them at that. You know, your it's triangle. It's the triangle. It doesn't matter what your position is. You just get it. You create the mismatch. The league's still the hey, set a screen. Okay, create the mismatch. Go 1-on-1. Let's not get stuck with that because it's boring fucking basketball to be honest. Um, um, but hey, put them in move. Defensively is where you have to go. Okay, I'm going to guard this guy. I'm going to guard this guy. And what are you going to do? I mean, they all are fairly. I mean, Grant, I think, is well, Denny's a good defender at that. He's more of an opportunistic and how he plays D. Grant, I think, is more of a pounder. Tumani's another one that's going to be a dog and get out in the passing lanes, and I'm going to just stay in front of the guy. Drew's a bigger dog, a bigger, smaller dog. Um, and just like any of those, the three that aren't Drew or Donovan, you can just switch.
Yeah.
If any other team runs a motion, it's like, oh, I'll create a mismatch. Drew's big enough too. He's not a little guard, as we talked to said a second ago. It's like unless you get like a 6'9" guy or somebody that wants to back him down, and he's smart enough. I think like, I mean, who's the biggest guards like that would be? It's hard to guard. Luca,
I don't.
Luca.
I think that. So I think that unless that there's a significant height difference, I think that they're going to run into the problem of trying to overpower somebody that is shorter than you but is still big and strong and has a lower center of balance than you do, and therefore can kind of body up against you in a way that makes it hard for you to take advantage of your height size difference. And so I think that even then that's not really that much of an advantage over Drew.
Yeah, no. I mean, next year we think that out against Scoot or Dame, then it becomes okay. There's a few more inches. Dame is still even then he was a fairly solid defender on the block for his size. He was really solid for that. Um, but yeah, then it becomes a height advantage, and they're just okay. You can't get the mismatch if KD's out there. You're not going to switch KD. Drew on that. KD can shoot over pretty much anybody, but if it's Tamari or Tumani or Grant or Denny even, or you got someone off the bench as Sharp, that's a more challenging thing of like, okay, you're going to be challenged on this shot, whether than outside of just being able to just rise up and shoot it.
Yeah.
Um, I think he's going to go with that same starter. I think we both kind of go. He's gonna his guard. I kind of think he will probably go how you stated on the guard. We're going to just run one for this game so they know they have the piece. Maybe he changes that later down the season, going, oh cool, I can put either one of them in whenever. Um, Sharp, I think, would be at least that's this how he goes. He's off the bench. He'll use Matisse as strategic defense. Um, and then I think, yeah, he's going to run Rob or Rob when he's healthy. And then if not, he's got to give Hanson some time because I think they'd invested a lot of time in him already. And, as before he
Well,
even was
they've also
drafted.
said that he's already earned time. So,
Yeah, that's good. So, yeah. So,
one thing I think might happen is, he might take more of your approach and do play both players off the bench, but then just have a shorter leash for mistakes. And when give Love a couple minutes, and if he just doesn't have it or he's making bad mistakes, you yank him and Wesley comes in,
yeah.
and you split up, and you just are you give both time, but you're less tolerant of mistakes, which I don't know how much I like. But
But Chauncey's very much that explain the problem and what you did when you come out. So I would think he'd lean towards that. I'm going to let you have the 4 minutes or whatever and make your mistakes. There and I haven't seen either of them, but I've heard decent things. Like they're actually good players. They're solid. They're not. And defensively though, how good a defender are you? That's a different thing than hey, I can score the ball or I can attack and create my own shot versus hey, I can stay in front of a guy. Um, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you too. It could be he could do that. I think it'll be probably maybe it's really kind of a hybrid. We both coming at it a little different. He could be like, hey, I'm going to give you a few minutes here, and then or hey, I may give him the first half. Love, you get the time. Second half, Wesley, we're going to see what you do, and then later in the season goes, okay, cool. Love, you got this game. I'm just going to run you for this. Wesley, you got the next game, or hey, matchups show it, and that's who he runs with.
yeah, I mean, I think it's going to end up being that just out of necessity because of fouls and injuries.
Yeah. Um, this is a side note on that, but recording wise, do we want to like set something here and stop and go, hey, see how it looks, and then just make sure the recording is not bad for some?
3, go.
All right. So another piece to that, out of the starting five, how are things going to change, which we really discussed and which didn't record? How does it change when Scoot comes back? He's coming off of torn hamstring, which is not going to be a, hey, jump back in, and you're going to be cautious with that because everybody says you run the risk of just hurting it again.
I don't know. Just because of that issue and that injury, I almost think that you need to sprinkle his play in as he comes back. And to me, the best way of doing that would probably be to mix him into the backup point guard mix,
Yeah.
and
That's just,
and he's replacing one of those guys.
yeah, I actually that makes a lot of sense. I think that's the smart way to do it. And he's going to be limited on time anyways. He's not probably going to come back until they go, hey, you can do what you can do. Just for his style of play and his build, he needs to have that.
Well, yeah, the estimate of him being out 4 to 10 weeks that's for him to return to basketball activities. That's not
Oh,
that's not
that's not
to
play.
play. That's for him to be able to practice again. So
I
he'll have
saw
it. I don't think he's going to play until Christmas,
October, November. That would be, yeah.
or
That's 8,
maybe
9 weeks.
the new
That's 10
year.
weeks. Yeah. Dang. Well, we get to figure out that injuries suck. I hate that. I mean, yeah, I guess we get to see what we can do without another guard. I guess good thing we have the players that we do at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. We with the Love and Wesley having both of those guys as the ability to handle the ball, even if they're not. Hey, they get to grow. Then that just means next year, what do we do? Oh, cool. We got guys that can handle the ball that can come off the bench. Drew may have lesser limits. We got Dame coming back from injury and just getting back in the flow. That fills, if I'm going to look at the positive, that's going to fill the whole thing that, cool, they can play 25 minutes a game. Those guys, other guys can go 10 to 12 apiece. And we have a rested team come playoffs and we can make a push.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
And then, yeah, you have, yeah. Oh, that looks, yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely more excited this year. It is nice to see it. Yeah, see how things come out.
Yeah. Speaking of which, first preseason game is Wednesday.
Is that the Warriors?
Is it the Warriors or Phoenix? I don't remember.
Oh, no. I'm looking at regular season. Sorry. Preseason. So that's Wednesday. That's Warriors. Is that preseason?
Yeah.
Gold 8th. The 8th is that. Sacramento is Friday. We play Golden State again next Tuesday, and the Jazz next Thursday. When do we actually play? Opening season is Minnesota, right?
I don't
That's
have
got to
the
be.
schedule up in front of me.
That's a big break. So we go Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, all the way off until Wednesday. And then, yeah, that's got to be the opening game is Wednesday. It's Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday. That'd be good. I'm off work early now. At least
I'm not, but it's on TV, so we can watch
that is
it.
true. That is very true.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap up this episode. Episode
Cool.
3 of Rip City Reverberations in the books. Hopefully, we don't have any audio issues. Knock on wood.
Yes, knock on wood.
And we can actually post this. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Please comment on it. We'll
Comment,
answer as we can.
subscribe.
Yeah, and subscribe.
Once we
And
have it.
we're growing this channel, and we appreciate you checking us out. Anyways,
Yes.
as we always end every interaction that we ever have, John,
True.
what are the magic words?
Go Blazers.
Go Blazers.
Fist butts. Go Blazers.